Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back, Momming Abroad. I post new videos every Sunday on motherhood, parenting topics, and expat topics as an American living abroad. For today, I'm going to be doing the mommy tag. So if you're interested in hearing more about my experience being a mom, keep watching. Okay, thank you for sticking around. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I am going to get started. I have the questions here on my phone. And let's begin. I have looked at them briefly, so I have somewhat of an idea. Question 1. How old were you when you had your first child? I was 28. I got pregnant when I was 27, almost 28, and I was 28 when I gave birth. Number 2, what was the hardest thing about being pregnant for 9 months? For me personally, the hardest thing was when I had a heart infection. In my first trimester, I was hospitalized for a week with a heart infection, and that was very traumatic for obvious reasons. And the treatment that they would do in that scenario of somebody who is going through a heart infection and is hospitalized, the normal treatment that they would do, everything was kind of, okay, can we do that when you're pregnant or not? Is it safe? So that was not for myself difficult, but for my child. I was really worried that something would happen to her as a result of trying to treat me. The general pregnancy things that were hard for me, I had morning sickness that was all-day sickness for all of my first trimester and most of my second trimester, honestly, and it was not pleasant, and I had a lot of lower back pain as well, and I had to go to physical therapy for that. Those are the things that were the most challenging during the 9 months of pregnancy. Number 3, can you think of any good things you enjoyed during those 9 months? Of course, you're growing a human being in your body. You have a tiny human being that is growing and being made inside of you. And just knowing that and feeling that is indescribable. Number 4, in your opinion, were all the things you heard about childbirth accurate or way off? That's difficult because I've heard everything and anything that one could hear, both through word of mouth as well as in childbirth classes and in books I've read and through the research that I did. So I basically expected the unexpected. That was the main tips that I had gotten from mothers. It was that nothing will go as you plan it, and you can expect that anything can happen. Every mother has a different experience, and even every childbirth that the same mother goes through will be different. So I learned very early on in my pregnancy not to expect anything in childbirth. Okay, number 5, would you have handled childbirth differently if you could redo it? Nope, not at all. I would do it almost exactly the same. The only thing that I would do differently is if I am ever blessed again enough to be with child again, then I would immediately call my doctor, my main doctor, OBGYN, to schedule a C-section with him. The moment I found out that I was pregnant, I would try to get that on the books immediately, which obviously when I first found out I was pregnant the first time, I didn't know I was going to have a C-section, so I couldn't have known to do that, but I would plan to do it with my own doctor if I get pregnant again. Okay, number 6, what would be your advice for someone who is about to have a baby? My advice is to do your own research, and once you've done your research, listen to your mama gut and your instincts for several reasons. Obviously, being a parent, there is no guidebook on it, and everyone does and should parent in their own ways. And I think even for the same mother, for one mother, they will parent different children differently, and they will parent differently in different seasons and stages of their lives. So I think that it's very important to make informed decisions, whether it comes to sleep safety or car safety, just everything, to make those decisions based on sound research and what you feel is right for you and your child. Because you will have many, many, many different moms and different voices and just people all around you telling you what you should do or not to do, giving you advice. And they generally are well-meaning. They mean to help you, and it comes from a good place. And they can be people that you think very highly of, who are great parents, who have lots of experience parenting, but the advice they give you could be scientifically out of date. It could be that something specifically that they mentioned to you is actually not good advice or not good practice. And it's important that you have the knowledge. Knowledge is power, that you do your own research and you know what should and shouldn't be done. Okay, sorry, I had a bit of a distraction. And I think I already said most of what I wanted to say. But just, make sure you do your research and you're sure about how you feel about things, so that you can nonchalantly brush off any advice that you don't want to receive, and that you can listen to good advice and take it with a grain of salt. And remember that you're the mom knows best, and dad knows best too, but that you as the parents know best. Okay, number 7 is what has been the hardest thing about being a mom? For me, at least personally, the hardest thing is trying to come to terms with whether you're doing enough or if you're being everything that your child needs you to be. I know that there is a very popular cultural thing going on where it's kind of like encouraged to be a bad mom in terms of accepting your shortcomings, and that no mom's going to ever be perfect, and you should love yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup, and a happy mom is a good mom. And while I do agree that you need to take care of yourself, you can't love somebody else if you don't love yourself, and you can't help somebody else be healthy and strong and happy if you aren't healthy and happy and strong. I totally agree with that. And I think it's extremely important to give yourself a whole lot of grace when it comes to being a mom, especially being a first-time mom, trying to figure it all out for the first time. And I imagine also going from 1 to 2 kids and figuring out how to juggle multiple kids. That is something that you need to have patience and grace with yourself on. But I don't think it should be like a green card to just kind of give yourself an excuse for not doing the things that you should do to be a good mom. And I think most moms don't do that, but I am a little worried about this culture of being a bad mom. I think that it's important to always try 100% to be the best that you can for your child, and to do the things that they need you to do. So be their friend when they need a friend and emotional support, but be ready to be a mom who gives loving but really, discipline when it's needed, because they need to learn what's right and what's wrong, and that's not something that they can do on their own. They need you there to do that, and that's something that I struggle with, that I try to find that right balance of giving myself grace, but making sure that I am doing everything I can to be the best mom that I can be. That to me is the hardest thing. Okay, number 8, what has been the most rewarding thing about being a mom? And I think the most rewarding thing is seeing your child become a good human being. For example, if another little kid is upset about something, then I have seen my daughter, who is nearly 2, go up to them and kind of stroke their face and pet their head and say in Dutch, "Don't cry, niet huilen," trying to soothe them and make them happy again, and hugging and kissing their head. And it just, to me, that melts my heart and to see that I'm helping raise a good human being, it's the most rewarding part of being a mom. Okay, number 9 is what was the most surprising thing you discovered about being a mom? And that's a little difficult to answer because everything is surprising about being a mom. If you're not a mom, you don't know what it's like to be a mom. Of course, you can have an idea because you may have a sibling who has children, or your best friend may already be a parent, and you can see, of course, what that is like, or maybe you've been a babysitter or an au pair. But to actually really be a mom is something that you're not going to know how it feels until you are a mom, and that is something that I knew going into it. So a lot of things were unexpected, but they were expected to be unexpected. So not much has surprised me, but if I had to choose something, I knew that breastfeeding would possibly be challenging because that is what I heard based on my research. But I didn't know that I was a bit surprised by the amount of effort that it took in order for me to be able to breastfeed, and the challenges and obstacles that we faced, both my daughter and me, in making that work. That was definitely surprising. Okay, number 10, the halfway mark. What is the best memory you have involving your child? Okay, this might sound strange to some people, those who don't know me, but I think the best memory literally just happened 2 days before I'm filming this, and it was taking my child onto the ice for the first time. I was a competitive figure skater when I was younger, and I do coach figure skating now, and just being on the ice, sharing my first love with my big love, my daughter, and of course my husband being there as well, it was just indescribable and amazing. So I think until now, that's my favorite memory with her. Number 11 is what was the most exciting milestone? And I think every single time she says a new word or phrase, especially when she said her first full-on sentence, those things, as well as the very first word, of course, I think the speaking milestones, or even individually between the milestones, every new word that I hear her say, whether it's in English or in Dutch, it just makes my heart sing. I'm so happy every time. I love to be able to communicate with her, and to me that's by far the most exciting development to see in my child. Okay, number 12, it's not a very positive question. It is, what is the worst thing your child has ever done? Yeah, I mean, she's had some, of course, unpleasant toddler behavior, but I am very big on consent and teaching consent to my child at the moment, and I am very mindful of her privacy. So even though she hasn't ever done anything really bad, I would rather not go into detail about what I would say is her worst thing she's ever done, because to me, teaching consent and allowing your child to make choices about what goes on the internet about them is important. Okay, number 13 is, what habit did you wish your child didn't have? It is in past tense. There was a short stage, I think maybe 2 or 3 weeks, when she was like a little bit under a year, maybe 11 months old or so, 10 and a half maybe, and when she didn't like certain food, she would just leave it in her mouth and refuse to open her mouth, refuse to spit it out, refuse to swallow it, and she would have it just kind of sitting in there for like 45 minutes to an hour, and it just completely freaked us out when she first did it, and it worried us because we were worried she would choke, and then getting it out, we had to do it kind of forcefully in order to like get her to open her mouth and get it out, and she would be upset. So yeah, that was a really unpleasant short though stage, and it wasn't even an everyday thing. It was like maybe 2 or 3 times a week for 2 or 3 weeks, but that was really disturbing for both her father and me, so yeah. But honestly, if that's the worst of it, I'm not complaining. Okay, number 14 is what habit of your child makes you the most proud. Pride is a bit of a weird term for me because I feel like you can't, I don't know, it's difficult because American English has pride is where you're like happy for them. But in other languages and other cultures, pride is something that like you take credit for. And I don't think it's fair for me to really take credit for her behavior in some aspects, of course, as her parent. But for the most part, she is her own person. So I can't take credit for good things she does. But I am happy that she is kind and empathetic, as I've already mentioned. She really has feelings for others. But then also I'm really happy that she loves to read. She doesn't read, but she loves to look through books and have me read and point out things and even just flip through books on her own. And that's something that I'm really excited about and I hope continues for many years in the future. Oh, and I forgot that she also really loves to clean. So if she drops something on the floor, she'll go and get a wipe and clean it up. And if we're emptying the dishwasher, she always wants to help. And she always wants to dispose of her own diaper and things like that. So she just likes to contribute. Okay, number 15, do you share any similarities with your child, both physical and personality? She has my curly hair, which I love. You can see some of the curls. I had straightened it though, but the heat made it curl up again. So she has that, and she kind of has a similar smile and cheeks. And then personality, I think she's very, very kind, and I think she just loves to love people and be loved, and I think that's kind of similar to me. And she's also loves to dance, and she's very bubbly, and she loves to read. Those are things that those are characteristics that and personality traits that I have as well. So it'll be interesting to see how she grows, and really interesting to see the ways that she's similar to her dad and to me, and also which unique own individual traits that she will get over time. I'm really looking forward to seeing how she grows and develops. Number 16, where would you like your child to be in 10 years? So she'll be about 12 years old in that time. I would like for her to have found something, at least one thing that she's very passionate about. So either sport or hobby or musical instruments or something that she really cares about and is passionate about, and to know which things make her happy in life. I would like her to be at kind of a place of content at that stage, and having an idea of who she is as an individual, which will be, of course, ever changing for the rest of her life. But yeah, that's that, and that she's kind. Those are the things that I hope for most at any age for my child. But definitely by age 12, I hope that she has found something that really gives her joy and is a constant in her life that she can turn to. Like I had the ice and I had books. I was an ice skater and an avid reader. And those things really helped shape who I am today. And I hope that she'll have something similar, maybe those exact things, but maybe something totally different, anything really. Number 17 is, what is something that having a child has taught you? Having a child has taught me, it has made me a little bit what some people call crunchy, or kind of hippie-like. I care so much more for the world since I had my daughter. I am much more of an environmentalist. I always cared about the environment and wanted to preserve Earth and make it both for Christian reasons, but also just for general caring about the planet we live on. But I feel like since having her, it's even more important to me that we as people, humans, care about each other, and that we care about our home, the earth, and just being a good person and being kind and being patient. Just, I don't know, it's made me more emotional and more aware, more self-aware, and also it's made my idea of what is important in life a lot clearer. My vision of what I want in life and how I want to contribute to the world has been made a lot clearer by becoming a mom. Okay, number 18. Did you imagine that you'd be a mom at the age that you became a mom? In some scenarios or stages of my life, I would have said It came later, and in other stages of my life, I would say it came a little earlier. When I first got married at age 23 and it became clear I wasn't going to continue right away with my PhD studies, I think I would have expected around the time that we did have kids. So I don't know. It depends when in life you are asking me, but I think it's not a strange age to have your first child at age 28. Okay, question 19, or instruction 19. Describe your child in a single sentence. My child is the happiest, most smiley, and loving little girl you will ever meet. Okay, and number 20. Have you changed as a person since becoming a mom? I definitely covered that a few questions ago. Yes, I have changed. I have become much more self-aware, as well as environmentally aware and aware of others. I feel emotions even deeper than I had before, and I was already a pretty emotional, sensitive person before that. But I also have a really clear vision of what's important in life, what I want in life. Yeah, I feel like it's just kind of further solidified who I am as a person, and made me really focus on the things that I've always wanted to focus on, but maybe at times I got distracted away from, and now I really know what it is that I want to focus on and what I want to do in life. And I can thank my daughter for making me a mom and providing me with that kind of peace of mind. So yeah. That was it. Those were the 20 questions from the mommy tag. I would love to know if any of you guys have done it. If you can comment below so I can go ahead and watch yours and let me know what you thought about my answers. And I look forward to seeing you guys next Sunday. Take care. Bye.